Rain is a beast tamer who is part of the hero's group. However, the hero, Arios, kicks Rain out one day. The reason is that he only has beast taming powers and basic martial arts skills. He cannot fight, so the others have to save him constantly. So, Arios kicks him out and tells him to leave all his gear, saying that it was the group who collected them. Realizing that his teammates thought so little of him, Rain leaves the group. Rain now has no good gear and no coins. He's starting from zero. So he decides to join the Adventurers Guild. The receptionist, Natalie, asks him what his class is, and Rain says Beast Tamer. Natalie becomes worried that he might not be safe alone, reminding him of his former group members' words. As an entrance trial, he has to kill 10 goblins and collect 20 medicinal herbs. He kills the 10 goblins and collects their runestones. Suddenly, he hears a scream from the forest. A giant killer tiger has trapped a cat girl. Rain tries to stab its head, but his knife breaks. So he accepts his fate, thinking that he was a simple beast tamer and he had no chance anyway. Suddenly, the cat girl launches an amazing hammer kick and kills the killer tiger in a single blow. Rain thinks about how there are rare species in this world called ultimate species. They are dragonoids, demigods, etc. But the rarest of the ultimate species are the cat spirits, like this girl right here. He says that cat spirits are on the verge of extinction because they can't use magic, but they have developed their physical skills to the ultimate peak. The girl eats lots of his food and introduces herself as Kanade. Kanade has been living a secluded life with the other cat spirits, so now she talks freely with Rain. Rain also finds himself becoming comfortable with her, so he tells her everything about himself. Hearing this, Kanade becomes angry at the hero Arios because Rain is such a nice person. Also, she thinks that he's not useless and that he can probably tame her. She says that she felt a buzzing ever since she met him. Since only a few people in the world can tame cat spirits, she thinks that he's strong. So, Rain uses his blood and forms a bond contract. The contract goes properly, and they form a bond. Both of them have a pattern on their palms that will link them. Rain thinks about how he is a simple beast tamer who was kicked out of the hero's party. But now, he has formed a bond with one of the ultimate species. Then, Rain makes temporary contracts with lots of rabbits and commands them to find medicinal herbs for his adventurer's trial. Kanade is shocked because apparently, most beast tamers can handle only one creature at a time. On top of that, he's tamed Kanade. So, what he just did is supposed to be impossible. Rain takes the goblin runes and the medical herbs back to the Adventurers Guild and officially registers as an F-rank adventurer, the lowest rank. But Rain is still happy. He earns some copper coins for now, and if his rank goes up, the rewards will also be better. So he has to accept more and more jobs. Suddenly, a big adventurer teases Kanade for walking around with an F-rank person despite being a rare cat spirit. Kanade replies that Rain was strong enough to tame her, so the man challenges Rain to an arm wrestle. The winner gets Kanade. In order to end this right here, Rain accepts the challenge. Rain ends up breaking the man's hand and is surprised at his own strength. Kanade explains that when a person contracts themselves with an ultimate species, one of their powers is amplified. So, he is pretty much as strong as a cat spirit. Later, they go to collect more medical herbs when they see a group of bandits called the Elben Fangs surrounding an old merchant. So, Rain and Kanade jump in and beat the Elben Fangs members. The merchant says that the Elben Fangs are a huge bandit group that kills anyone who messes with them. But Rain decides to capture the rest of the Elben Fangs members instead. Rain uses the help of a squirrel to find their hideout. He plans to use a special kind of bee called AMVs, whose sting will paralyze a person for 12 hours. Kanade is surprised that Rain is an insect tamer as well, as that is something different from a beast tamer. Then, he sends Kanade back to town to bring the knights who will arrest these bandits. He makes temporary contracts with the bees and sends them at the bandits. Meanwhile, we find out that two of Arios' members, Mina and Liana, were supposed to be guarding the merchant to kill some time. But when the Elben Fangs members attacked them, they did not have time to cast their spells, so they had to run away. They blamed the other adventurer, who was a beast tamer, for not using more animals to scout the area like Rain used to do. But the man says that a beast tamer can tame only one animal at a time. If they try to do more, their nervous system will break. Mina and Liana think about the huge number of animals that Rain used to tame with ease, wondering if he was actually a powerful person. But these two idiots are in denial, so they think that the man is lying, saying that Rain could never do anything important. Meanwhile, Rain has done something important by paralyzing all the Elben Fangs members, while Kanade brings the other adventurers to arrest the members because the knights did not bother to come. But suddenly, they are attacked by king lizards that had been captured by the bandits. But Rain and Kanade use their strength to knock them out one by one. Rain thinks about how this is different from his time with Arios, all because of Kanade. They come out alive, and all the adventurers celebrate, acknowledging their strength. Rain thanks Kanade for being by his side, as he feels like he can now do amazing things. Because of this significant action, Rain is promoted to E rank and given a pretty nice reward of silver coins. They gather needed supplies and take a room to sleep in. But the innkeeper says that there's only one room and puts them in there, making Rain rather uncomfortable. Kanade is fine with it though, so Rain says that she shouldn't trust everyone she meets. Kanade replies that she isn't trusting just anyone. She's trusting Rain. That night, Kanade thinks about how many people have tried to tame her for selfish reasons, but Rain protected her and talked to her like she was a normal girl. Also, she wants to help heal him from the sadness of being kicked out of the hero's party. One day, Natalie tells them about a hooligan who has been stopping people at a bridge and challenging them to a duel. He has been preventing everyone from crossing this bridge that connects the main continent from the southern islands. Because of the high reward, Rain and Kanade go there. At the bridge, they see a huge dragon, who turns into a girl named Tanya. She is a dragonoid, which is another one of the ultimate species. Tanya challenges them to a fight, as she's doing this for training, which is a tradition amongst dragonoids. Rain and Kanade put up a decent fight since Kanade is also an ultimate species. But Tanya is just too good for them, and she almost kills them. So Rain asks Kanade to buy him some time while he goes and uses a contract on a bird and tells it to bring more birds. They all prick Tanya and run away, but she collapses to the ground. Turns out, the birds that Rain used were of the poisonous kind. Their combined poison manages to paralyze even a dragonoid like Tanya. So, she surrenders and promises not to make trouble at the bridge again. They take Tanya back to town where Rain tells her to go far away. But she has decided to tag along with them to get some more training. She asks him to form a contract with her. So Rain goes through the usual rituals and they form a contract together. Tanya also gets the same symbol on her right hand. Since Rain has now made contracts with not one but two ultimate species, he feels like he's used up all the luck of his life. Meanwhile, Arios and the others are struggling to get through a dangerous forest called the Lost Woods because they don't have a proper tracker, and they now have to carry all of their own luggage, the things that Rain used to do. So, Arios decides to call Rain back, and once they cross the Lost Woods, they'll dump him again. Rain, Kanade, and Tanya are now a brand new trio, so they start taking up jobs. They find a huge swarm of slimes. Tanya asks Rain to use Fireball on the slimes. He says that his Fireball is weak, but tries it anyway. However, he creates such a massive explosion that the slimes are killed instantly, Tanya explains. Just like how his contract with Kanade gave him enhanced physical abilities like a cat spirit, his contract with Tanya gave him enhanced fire magic, like a dragonoid. They go back and collect a hefty reward which they use to eat a very good meal. It's the girls who do most of the eating. After they eat enough to fill an entire army, they ask Rain where he learnt beast taming. He comes from a small village where everyone is beast tamers. They all live their daily lives doing beast taming. However, his village no longer exists. When he was 12, he was out in the forest, practicing beast taming. When it became dark, he saw that his village was on fire. By the time he arrives, everyone was dead, as the village had been attacked by monsters. Some soldiers saved him, and he grew up working hard in an inn. Half a year ago, Arios and his group asked him to join them, and he happily accepted because he wanted to make a difference with the heroes group. But the truth was, Arios just used him for random work. He starts feeling pathetic, but Kanade says that she finally understands him a little. Why he's always rushing forward to save people. It's because he really wants to help people and make a positive difference so that others won't feel the same pain that he felt. Tanya also says that she's proud to have made a contract with someone like him. Next, they rant about how stupid the hero's party is, which makes Rain quite happy. The next day, the three of them are walking around, planning their adventures, when suddenly Arios confronts them. Arios and the rest of them are shocked to see two ultimate species here, so they think that Rain is serving them. When they find out that it's the other way around, they are in even more shock. But Arios goes back to his cocky nature and gives Rain the opportunity of working for him again. He wants Rain to help them pass the Lost Woods using his beast control and load transportation skills. But there's no way that Rain would agree to something like that. But Mina becomes desperate and tells him about the Shield of Truth, which is an important relic that they need to defeat the Demon King. Else, the Demon King will attack everyone. The powerful will protect themselves. But what about the weak ones? Rain is worried that the world will face the same thing that happened to his village. So, he agrees to help Arios despite the way he was kicked out. The heroes group mocks him, saying that he should have accepted right at the beginning and he wasted their time. So Kanade and Tanya demand that they fall to the ground and apologize to Rain if they want him. Else, they will destroy them. Man, to have friends like them must be a true blessing. But Arios and his team are too egotistical, and there's no way they would beg to Rain, whom they consider to be lowly. Arios grabs Rain by the collar and tells him to control his pets, referring to Kanade and Tanya. So of course Rain gets angry and punches Arios, shocking everyone, and that was one satisfying punch. Rain says that the two girls are his beloved comrades. So Arios challenges Rain, group versus group. Kanade will fight the bald knight, Agath. He's a super strong warrior whose blade shakes the entire forest. Kanade launches a barrage of attacks on him, and Agath is shocked that she's fast and her attacks hit like hammers. He prepares his strongest skills so Kanade uses just 50% of her strength and kicks him. He asks why she's serving a weakling like Rain, and Kanade says that it's because Rain is stronger than all of them. Agath crashes into a tree, which falls and he gets knocked out. Elsewhere, Tanya is facing Lian the magician and Mina the holy priest. They launch their best attacks at her, but being a dragonoid, it's too easy for her. She just snaps her fingers and their spells disappear. But they seem to have this belief that the hero's party has the divine protection of God. So, Tanya replies that Rain will tame more and more ultimate species, and he might even end up taming God. Then she shows them what proper magic looks like. She blocks out the entire sky with dark clouds, and covers it with dozens of magic circles. Lian and Mina apologize, and Tanya forgives them. But they pass out due to shock. Elsewhere, it's the hero Arios versus our hero Rain. Arios' swordplay is second to none, and it really pushes Rain back. But Rain says that he does not feel the same desperation that he did when fighting Tanya. He punches Arios, making him spit blood. His attacks break entire rocks, shocking Arios. So, Arios uses the hero's special lightning magic, but Rain's powerful fire is enough to stop it. Arios still has other magic up his sleeve, but he suddenly becomes paralyzed. During their fight earlier, Rain was multitasking by controlling an Arby which has now paralyzed Arios. Arios begs for forgiveness while crying, but Rain is still angry at the way he mocked Kanade and Tanya earlier. He punches so hard that it causes an explosion in the forest. But he didn't really punch Arios. That would have killed him. Then, he happily reunites with Kanade and Tanya. The group rounds up all the heroes' party members and makes them apologize, with Tanya and Kanade doing most of the threatening. Then, the group continues on into the woods to retrieve the Shield of Truth that only the hero can wield. The two girls ask if he is okay with helping this hero who seems like a really bad person. But Rain just rubs their head, which makes them blush. Since the Lost Woods are constantly growing, Rain transfers his mind into a bird and finds out a narrow path. But when they follow the path, they are brought back to the same place. Tanya uses her magic to find a tree that is emitting illusion magic. That's the reason why they have been walking around in circles. She tells Kanade to break the tree, but just then, a strange female voice tells them to leave this place. And from the tree comes out a fairy, another ultimate species like Kanade and Tanya. Fairies can use magic which is more powerful than even dragonoids, and they hate humans because of how humans destroy nature for selfish reasons. The fairy threatens them, so they run away. Tanya and Kanade are ready to work together and fight. But Rain wants to solve this by talking, and the girls comment that Rain is just so kind. Rain says that he is not here to hurt the forest. The fairy prepares to attack him, so he accepts it. He thinks about how he has been in situations before where he could not communicate with words, so he had to show trust. The fairy attacks and he just stays there, just to earn her trust. He says that not all humans are bad like the ones she knows. The fairy becomes shocked, but she attacks again, and this time, Kanade and Tanya protect him. Then, they talk about what a good and kind person Rain is. The fairy is curious and introduces herself as Sora, and she will hear what Rain has to say. She says that she won't take down the illusion barrier as it protects their fairy village. But if it is to defeat the Demon King, then she will give him the shield. So Sora goes inside and brings out the shield, giving it to him just like that. She says that it was an agreement between the fairies and the previous hero to pass on the shield when the time came. Then she tells them to leave. But Rain senses that something is bothering her, so he offers to help her. Sora almost tells him something, but she's worried they might get hurt. But Rain does not care if he'll get hurt. Kanade and Tanya also vouch for him. So Sora says that she has a younger twin sister named Runa. Sora and Runa were responsible for guarding the paths to the fairy village, but one day, they were attacked by a monster from the Demon King's army called Shadow Knight. In the fight, Runa was captured. The others are surprised because fairies are supposed to have powerful magic, but Rain explains that a Shadow Knight is a C-rank monster. It should not be able to defeat fairies, but it has the power to cancel magic. The fairies are at a disadvantage against Shadow Knights as only physical attacks work. Sora's village leader was not willing to go save Runa, as it would put them all at risk. She starts crying, so Rain promises to save her sister, so she hugs him and cries even more. The Shadow Knight commanded her to bring down the barrier by sunset, or he would kill Runa. The group goes to fight it, while Sora stays back because she's pretty much useless here. They find the Shadow Knight on his shadow throne with Runa hanging over him. They shoot fireballs at him and it's no use, so he becomes cocky. But Kanade kicks him so hard he literally stops monologuing. Then, Tanya saves Runa and takes her away while the other two fight him. He starts showing his immense powers, so Rain turns into his most reliable friends, the AMVs. He uses them to distract the knight while he hits Kanade with a booster magic, making her way more powerful. Then, she punches the knight so hard that it creates a hole in him, and he dies. Rain says that he used a tamer ability that increases someone's natural abilities. He couldn't use it before, but now he can because of the magic he got from Tanya. Tanya says that the boost spell was supposed to be lost, but Rain says that he learnt it in his hometown. Then, they take Run back to Sora, and the two sisters reunite. Then, Runa says that she was kinda excited about being a captive because she has a naughty mind. Then, the sisters announce that they won't go back to the village because those villagers did not try to rescue Runa, as understandable as it was. But they don't know how to travel because they've lived here all their life. So, Kanade and Tanya offer them to come with them, and Rain also approves. Then, Sora and Runa say that they want to make a contract with Rain as he helped them so much. Rain is not sure if he can tame fairies, but the other two give their encouragement. Rain does the same ritual, and the two fairies are now tamed by him, with those same contract markings on their palms. Then, Rain goes to give the shield to Arios while telling his girls to hide and wait. Arios is shocked that Rain got it in 2 days, so he claims that the shield must be fake. Mina does appraisal magic on it, and of course the shield is genuine. Rain takes the payment from Arios and prepares to leave, but Agath asks him if he wants to rejoin. Arios becomes angry, but Agath says that they should consider Rain's powers. Rain starts to hesitate, so Kanade comes forward and gives him her hand. Rain realizes that he's already got all that he wants. Arios thinks about the humiliation he faced from Rain and vows to destroy him no matter what. Later, the girls wonder if only the hero can defeat the Demon King. Rain tells them the story of the Demon King who used to terrorize all of humanity. No one could do anything. So the first hero made a contract with the gods and took their blood into his own body and defeated the Demon King. A normal human may work hard all their lives, but there is a limit to their growth. But the hero has the blood of the gods, which gives them a power called Limit Break, meaning they can become more and more powerful, without any limits. He says that Arios may be weak now, but he will eventually be super powerful. The girls point out that Rain is kinda also like the hero. He has made newer and newer contracts, giving him more and more powers. Kanade suggests that Rain could make contracts with even more ultimate species and be strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord. The others also prefer him over that lousy hero. But Rain says that fighting the Demon King is a serious task, and he's not sure if he is ready mentally. He wants to take time to decide such an important thing. The girls are ready to wait for his decision, and they will support him no matter what. Rain realizes that the crossroads of his life is coming here. The 5 of them start living together. One day, the girls advise Rain to get a weapon for himself. They go to the best equipment shop in town. It's run by a dwarf named Gantz. Gantz is rude, but he's a very good blacksmith. Rain chooses a dagger but suddenly gets a strange feeling. Just then, an adventurer enters with a bag of money, asking Gantz to give him the best weapon here. Gantz gives him a fancy-looking sword, and the man goes away happily. But Rain says that the weapon is only good as a ceremonial. In a real battle, it's lacking something. The same goes for all the other weapons here. Rain asks if he's hiding something. Gantz suddenly laughs and says that Rain is correct. All the weapons here are mass-produced with basic-level uses, but his best weapons are the ones he put all his efforts in. He shows them to Rain, who immediately sees how good these ones are. Gantz says that he does this because he wants his customers to match with the weapons that are perfect for their skills. He does not want low-level people to buy good weapons just because they have the money. Gantz asks how Rain could tell the difference. Rain says that being a beast tamer means he is used to observing every little detail of everything and everyone. Gantz is impressed and decides to make a special weapon just for him. But there is a problem. He does not have the right materials. The group goes back to the Adventurers Guild, which is really crowded. Natalie says that the hero Arios is recruiting members with the promise of fame and riches. But the group ignores them. Rain gives Natalie a request to investigate a mithril mountain. The mithril mountain belongs to Gantz's family, and mithril is used to make the strongest weapons. But somehow, the mithril has depleted there. So, Rain offered to investigate the mithril mine. It's a short hike there, but the two fairy sisters get tired easily because their physicality is almost non-existent. But they finally reach the mine. Rain suspects that the mithril is being depleted because of illegal miners. Suddenly, he notices an eagle moving weirdly, and sure enough, two illegal miners come out whom Tanya and Kanade quickly knock out. Rain needs information from them, so the two fairies offer to look into their memories. They find out that adventurers have been stealing the mithril, and there are 5 more inside. In exchange for helping him, the two sisters ask for a pet to their heads, which really makes them blush. Rain reminds them of the eagle that was moving weirdly earlier, and warns them that there might be a beast tamer amongst the miners. They enter the mine, but the other adventurers attack them immediately. However, they are no match for the ultimate species girls who take care of them with ease. Only the beast tamer is left, whom Rain knocks down with a single punch. So, he summons a behemoth, which is a B-rank monster. The behemoth starts wreaking havoc, causing danger to everyone involved. So the girls take their prisoners outside. Rain and Kanade stay back to fight. The plan is that Rain will distract the behemoth while Kanade will capture the man and make him stop the monster. Kanade easily captured the beast tamer, but he says he'd rather die than let his theft be known. So Rain makes a huge gamble and tames the behemoth, overwriting the other guy's contract. Rain says that he himself wasn't sure he could do it, but his friend's words gave him the motivation to do something which was considered near impossible. But the man goes into denial and starts yelling at the behemoth, so it attacks him instead. In order to save him, Rain kills the behemoth, and he sounds quite regretful at doing that. Then, they find out why they were stealing the mithril. They had all bought weapons from Gantz. Not the good stuff, but the mediocre stuff. Other adventurers had made fun of them, so as revenge, they were stealing his precious mithril. When Gantz hears this story, he realizes that he should have put his full effort in every single one of his weapons, instead of making mediocre ones and putting his customers through a test. He thinks that he's a failure, but Rain assures him that he now has a chance to make corrections. So Gantz decides to put his 100% effort into all weapons. He also asks what kind of weapon Rain would like, who replies that he wants a dagger and a gauntlet. Then, he secretly gives Gantz an idea. Meanwhile, Arios is looking for candidates, but none of the beast tamers can tame more than one animal at once, nor can they tame ultimate species, which are considered impossible. Mina thinks that all the candidates would be decent at support roles, but none were on the same level as Rain. Arios also thinks about how he's the hero, and he has the duty of saving the world. But he takes a purple ring and says that he needs to eliminate Rain first. Elsewhere, Sora and Runa ask Rain if he feels anything different, since their contract should have given him a unique power, like Kanade's strength and Tanya's magic. Rain says that he feels nothing. So the two of them get sad, thinking that they have failed as contract makers. But Rain says that he values their companionship more than their powers. They all become happy and go for lunch. But just then, a rich-looking man says that he's interested in Sora and Runa, and will make them his. He introduces himself as Edgar, the son of the local lord, which explains why he's such a douchebag. Sora and Runa refuse to go with him, so Edgar uses his guards to force them. However, Rain defeats them faster than you can say Anime explained, but Edgar, being a douchebag, threatens to kill his own innocent citizens if Rain keeps resisting, saying that peasants are nothing more than tools to be used by lords like him. Sora and Runa offer to use their magic, but then it will be revealed that they are fairies because fairy wings become visible when they use magic, and that will cause even more trouble. Suddenly, Rain gets a vision of multiple spell circles activating at once, and he uses it, sending multiple fireballs at all the enemies at once. Sora and Runa think that this is a fairy skill that allows a person to cast one spell multiple times at once. Edgar runs away, and the people thank Rain for saving them. Later, Runa tells the other girls about Rain's new skills, consecutive incantation. Also, his contract with the fairies has allowed him to control his previous magic better, which he couldn't do when practicing with Tanya. Then they talk about Edgar, who is known for kidnapping women and abusing them. His father uses his powers to protect him from his crimes. The Knights once investigated Edgar, but they found no evidence. Tanya gets really angry and suggests that they burn his mansion to the ground. But Rain does not want to take that path, as it would put the citizens in danger. He wants to save everyone, and the girls support him completely. Meanwhile, Edgar is still humiliated by the day's events, so he commands the captain of the Knights, Gillet, to find more information on Rain. Then, Edgar rings his bell and calls in an ultimate species girl. Edgar starts stomping on her, telling her to scream as he loves to hear her scream. The next day, Rain and Kanade go to the Order of the Knights office to file a complaint against Edgar and his father. But they say that there is no evidence and starts laughing. It's clear that they are in partnership with the Lord. As they are returning, the vice captain of the Knights, Stella, comes to them and thanks them for eradicating the Elben Fangs gang some time ago. Stella wants to protect the citizens by punishing the Lord and his family. Their Order of the Knights was meant to protect everyone, but they have been corrupted by the Lord. She asks for their help in bringing the Lord and his son to justice. They agree to work together, and Rain makes a plan to trap the Gillet and the Order of the Knights. Rain introduces the rest of his group to her, while Stella introduces the few knights that she can trust. Gantz also finishes Rain's weapon. According to their plans, Gillet is given false information that a warehouse contains proof of his partnership with Edgar. They enter the place, but Rain quickly knocks them all out using his new special gauntlet. He and Stella reveal themselves, saying that her associates are at the Knight's office looking through proof of his corruption. Then, Stella steps down to finish this herself. She kills Gillet, a man she once respected. Edgar gets news of all this and furiously stomps on the poor girl again. Just then, Arios arrives at his place and says that he too hates Rain. He gives the purple ring to Edgar, saying that he can use its powers to kill Rain. Meanwhile, the ultimate species girl, whose name is Nina, starts crying thinking about her life before all this. She used to have a simple life, just laughing and enjoying herself with all the people. But now, she's a slave. Outside the castle, Stella and her knights, along with Kanade and Tanya, break through the main defenses. Using this diversion, Rain and the two fairies sneak inside to save the kidnapped girls. Runa uses material search and senses several people down below, but she also senses a super powerful presence above them, probably another ultimate species. Runa and Sora down to save the girls while Rain goes upstairs. He finds Nina and notices her fox ears and 3 tails. She's from an ultimate species called the demigods. Rain quickly breaks into the prison and heals her. He is very kind to her, and Nina hugs him while crying. Back in the past, Edgar had attacked Nina's small village and threatened to kill her friends if she did not obey him. So, Nina was forced to wear a magical slave collar. Since he just enslaved a demigod, Edgar starts calling himself God. Back to the present, Rain says that she has been a very strong person all this while. He notices that the collar uses the same principle as a beast tamer's contract spell. So he tries to overwrite it, but gets hit with a powerful counterspell. But Rain uses all the strength and skills that he has received until now, and breaks her collar. Meanwhile, Sora and Runa take the kidnapped girls to safety. Then, they defeat the rest of the guards. The Lord is scared, but Edgar tells him to escape to safety, saying that he will deal with it. Down in the mansion, Rain catches up with the rest of the girls. They all assume that Rain has chosen another girl for himself. Rain tries to deny it to no avail. But they all readily accept Nina because she is so cute and fluffy. Suddenly they see the Lord trying to run away, so Rain uses his new bracelet to capture him. So Edgar arrives and summons a literal Grim Reaper with his ring. The Reaper stabs him in the chest. Ario stands on top of a building and laughs like the heroic villain that he is. Back downstairs, Rain is actually alive and well. All the girls are shocked. Did he survive because he has contracted with Ultimate Species, or because he's a beast tamer? Why? Runa gets an idea and hits him with poison, but he survives that too. After getting a scolding from everyone, Runa explains. Rain only got one skill after his contract with Runa and Sora. That doesn't make sense. Instead, it makes sense that he got the ability to nullify any instant death spells. Meanwhile, Edgar is sitting there in pure shock. He's someone who has always gotten everything he's wanted, and now he's getting nothing. He is unable to accept this, and his negative emotions allow the ring to grow even more powerful, so much so that it completely consumes him. Rain throws a powerful fireball to subdue it, but it's no use. Out of it comes a demon that Rain recognizes instantly, the one that destroyed his village and killed his parents. The demon then flies towards the city and starts attacking the townspeople, so Kanade drop kicks him to the ground. Then, Sora and Runa drop a powerful holy spell on him. It's no use. Seeing that he's up against Ultimate Species, the demon calls reinforcements, monsters in limitless supply. The girls kick ass, and the two fairies hold him in place while Rain uses the ultimate boost on Kanade and Tanya. The four of them go all out on him, enough to kill powerful creatures. But he still survives. Then he summons tons of flying monsters as well, and goes to destroy the entire area. Rain says that he has a plan, so Sora and Runa offer to teleport the citizens to safety until then. Meanwhile, Arios and his team look at the destruction. Mina mentions that demons are the Demon Lord's top soldiers, and it is the duty of the heroes' party to fight them. But Arios says that it's not worth their time. They should just focus on the Demon Lord. Agath is against that, but Liana is in support of him. Down below, Stella and her soldiers bring the people to Sora and Runa, who teleport people to safety. Meanwhile, Kanade and Tanya are having a bad time with the monsters. Not because the monsters are strong, but because they're just so many. But just then, the Adventurers Guild arrives to clear the path for them. They even got free weapons from Gantz, not the average ones, but the best of his weapons. The adventurers were happy to help Rain anyway, saying that the hero is too cowardly. Meanwhile, Rain is preparing to hit the demon with a special one-shot attack, but he's too far away. They need instant teleportation magic, but the fairies only know time-consuming magic right now. Just then, Nina arrives because the plot needs her. Kanade and Tanya point out that demigods can do instant teleportation. Just what he needed. While Kanade and Tanya take care of a horde of monsters, Rain takes Nina with him. The demon launches a powerful attack at him, but Nina uses teleportation to get close to the demon, to wherever he flies. She does rapid teleportation, so that it looks like they're actually flying. Once he's close enough, Rain uses boost on himself, enhancing his beast tamer powers. Then, he touches the demon, and uses his beast tamer powers on him. However, the demon is too strong, and he starts overpowering Rain. But Rain remembers that he has the power of friendship, so he overwrites the demon's control, and makes the monsters his own. Then he boosts all of them, and makes them eat the demon. The demon loses, and as he's disappearing, he laughs out of respect for Rain. Sometime later, the town begins its rebuilding process. Stella is officially appointed the captain of the knights. All the corrupt knights were sent to the capital for punishment. All is well with everyone here. Stella tells Rain that he's the champion of his town, but Rain is too humble, saying that he's just a normal beast tamer. Later, Nina says that she wants to stay with Rain and help him even more. So Rain makes a contract with her, just like with everyone else. The other girls congratulate her by hugging her all at once. Later, the Adventurers Guild promotes Rain to C rank. Seriously, even after defeating that powerful demon. Imagine if Rain defeats the Demon Lord right now, he's going to get, oh my god, B rank. What a joke. Anyways, Rain says that their room is too small for the 6 of them. So, Natalie suggests he buy a house. The guild actually provides property agents and subsidies. They go through several houses, but they don't like any of them. Natalie shows them the final house, which fits the demands of all 6 of them. It's fully furnished and within Rain's price range, but it's haunted. Kanade immediately becomes super scared. The ghost doesn't actually do anything extreme like scaring or killing, but it plays pranks all the time, making the place very inconvenient to live in. Rain suggests that they look all around the house and then decide on what to do. They check the rooms and suddenly the furniture starts moving, scaring them. Then, a ghost named Tina, wearing a maid's uniform, tells them to get out. The fairies use holy purification magic on her, but it's no use, as Tina moves around before it hits. So they cover the entire area in purification spells, closing the route for her to escape. So, Tina tries to possess Rain, but Rain tells her to stop and she just stops. Rain explains that in his village he was trained to tame phantoms too. He talks calmly to her, and she starts talking as well. She used to work in this house, but her master was a psychopath who killed her. The next thing she knew, she was a ghost. Since she can't scare them, Tina says she'll leave and they can stay here. Rain thanks her and then invites her to live with them. Tina is not sure at first, saying, "Do you really want a ghost?" But the other girls point out that Rain is a kind person in this way. Tina accepts their offer. Rain officially buys the house while the others prepare a housewarming party. Meanwhile, Arios and his party arrive at the market and demand that the shopkeepers give him free provisions because he has no money, and after all, he's the hero who's going to save the world. But the shopkeeper is taking none of his bull, saying that he didn't even save their town. All the people scold them and tell them to have more humility. Arios becomes frustrated and destroys a stall and leaves. Now, Arios is even more determined to defeat Rain. Meanwhile, Rain is having a wonderful time with his friends, who cook up a wonderful dinner for them all. Tina helped as she's a very good cook. Rain thinks about how when he lost everyone, a large hole came into his heart. But now it has been filled by his wonderful friends. The girls reply that it's the same with them. Thinking about all the good things in his life, Rain starts crying much to everyone's shock.